In the absence of an agreement, Trafalgar's contract with the council will cease on the 13th of January and the Beck Theatre will close while the consultants seek new management. Councillor Ian Edwards, leader of Hillingdon Council, said, "We recognise the valuable contributions our theatres make to communities and are committed to retaining a strong community arts and culture offer." Council officers and elected councillors continue to work tirelessly to secure the venue's long-term stability as a commercial theatre without financial subsidy from the taxpayer. The consultants will begin their work immediately. The council will provide further updates in due course. I'm being joined on the line now by Back the Becks campaign coordinator Jonathan Haynes, who is here to talk to us about his reaction to today's news. Jonathan, how are you?
Yeah, I've been better, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It wasn't the news that we were expecting to hear today, to be honest, given the actual positivity that we were getting from Hillingdon Council the last couple of weeks. They actually looked like they were engaging with an operator that was on the table, that would have actually been able to run the venue as a non-profit organisation from January the 13th. So we were kind of told that we would get some good news. The operators were told they would get some good news. In fact, we got the complete opposite, which was basically that they are going to claim to kind of go through a consultative process, which will cause significant delay, which will result in the theatre closing in January. I mean, obviously our extreme concern with this is that once the theatre closes, it will be very difficult to reopen it again. The Theatre Trust have actually told us that, if it does close, it's going to take minimum 6 months to get it back again. It will lose the staff will get made redundant. We'll lose the assets in the building. The venue will be forced to close. Most likely will be ransacked by squatters. It'll be subject to arson. The programme will go. There'll be no shows that will be forecast and programmed for 2025, 2026. So realistically, it doesn't give an operator a lot of options. And I can't imagine many of them are going to want to take up a venue in that state.
How important is the theatre to the community?
Oh, it's phenomenal. I mean, it's more than just a theatre. As I say, it's got a creative learning offer which has touched the lives of so many people across the community and beyond, through choirs, workshops. Their summer youth project that's been running since 1987, along with the Beck Youth Theatre. So there's a lot of great initiatives that it puts forward. And for those that don't make a career out of the performing arts, they gain lifelong skills. They get to make good friends for life. And actually, where the Beck is, it's an area of extreme deprivation. It's in one of the most ethnically diverse parts of London, and it's been able to bring people together from those ethnic backgrounds. Their diverse programme reflects this. They've had a number of shows that really have brought those communities together. And in a year where we've seen race riots and divisiveness across the country, we need places like the Beck to bring these people together.
And Jonathan, when it comes to the Beck, and obviously you've just said about, I guess, that things at the moment look a little bit doomy and gloomy, but what are your hopes for the future?
If I'm brutally honest, I don't really see a lot of hope for the future. We have been telling as part of the campaign that we're quite cynical. We feel that actually the council do want to close this venue for good. They want to build flats on the land. They want to sell it off to private developers. They have been claiming ever since we put this campaign out there that they do want to keep the theatre, but I do feel that was there just to wind the clock down. We're now sort of end of October with no viable deal on the table. And obviously you mentioned Trafalgar in the opening statement. Trafalgar actually did come back. They have been negotiating with the council for the best part of a year on this. They went to the council and offered a 3-year deal at zero subsidy. So it wouldn't have actually cost the council any money whatsoever. So we were kind of quite cynical. I mean, they offered the council a deal that any other council would have bitten their arm off for, and Hillingdon Council chose to ignore it. So they've had so many opportunities. They've had operators come to them wanting to run this venue in a non-profit making capacity in order to keep it for the community, and they've turned down and ignored every option that's been put forward to them. So I can't see what their intentions to keep the venue. I'm sorry, I don't buy it, if I'm honest.
It's 2.5 months until the 13th of January. What is there any more that can be done, or is this the final line that's been drawn?
So we'll continue to campaign. We'll continue to address this, both at local level and at national level. We've been very lucky that we've had very good support from our local MPs. Unfortunately, this is David and Goliath situation here. We're fighting against a political beast that is not willing to change. It's not willing to engage with us. We've reached out countless times to try and speak to Councillor Ian Edwards and the rest of the cabinet and the councillors. They haven't come back to us. We have explained to them how important this venue is. According to the Ministry of Justice, arts and culture makes us safer. According to the World Health Organization, arts and culture makes us healthier. And by employing local people and bringing people to Hayes, arts and culture makes us richer. And this is what Hillingdon Council are choosing to take away from people. And we've said this to them. They haven't come back with any form of certainty, of clarity. If anything, this makes it even more ambiguous.
And we did have that statement there, and we had the line from Councillor Ian Edwards, who did say that they are committed to retaining a strong community arts and culture offer.
Yeah, I mean, I think the council are being quite disingenuous in its statements and reporting of the situation, unfortunately. Today's statement doesn't acknowledge that there were other options presented to the council beyond a deal with Trafalgar. And so the breakdown of those talks is not a reason for where we now find ourselves. I mean, if they want to keep the venue, they've had countless opportunities to try and save it. This has been going back since 2021, where they tried to put forward a paper to look at the arts programme across the borough and said it would take 2 years. At the end of those 2 years, nothing materialised. They did nothing. So actually, them claiming to want to keep the venue, I think it's about them trying to keep and show face, because they don't want the community to look at them unfavourably. They're trying to do what they can to make it look like they're the good guys, when in reality we can see through it.
Yeah, and I do know, kind of from my own experience of going and visiting theatres in different communities across London, that they aren't just theatres, like you said. There's lots of different things happening there, isn't there? And lots of different kind of support for different parts of the community.
Yeah.
And really a bit of a community hub, I suppose.
Absolutely. I mean, at a time where so many youth clubs are being closed, yes. At a time when so many things within the community are no longer available. I mean, we've got there's actually a patron of the theatre, a lady called Mrs. Kelly. She goes regularly with her husband, who's got dementia, and it is their lifeline. I mean, they rely on this building. There are so many disabled people, so many less fortunate that can't go into London to see these productions. It creates a sense of community. It creates a sense of enrichment in the lives of the community that it seeks to serve. And this is what we lose. When we pay our taxes, we expect to have a good quality of life in the area that we live in. If we give money to hospitals, we don't expect to see a monetary return on that funding. We expect to see healthy people, and it's the same with theatres. We expect to put money in, but actually get some enrichment back, and that is the enrichment that we are seeking to lose if this venue doesn't stay.
Jonathan, for people listening who might want to find out more about your campaign and what your next steps are, I suppose, where could they find out more?
Yeah, thank you. So you can, we've got a website, it's called www.backthebeck.org. If they go on there, they'll be able to find details of our latest statements. But also we've got a public demonstration happening in Uxbridge Town Centre, opposite the tube station on this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock. I'd urge everybody, if you care about the arts, whether you're in Hayes or not, this transcends Hayes. Please do come along. The concern that I've got is that this is going to create a domino effect where councils are going to be just allowed to force close venues, and we'll see it in Hayes and it will happen again. We've seen it countless times, and we need to preserve these buildings, and we need to hold our politicians to account.
Jonathan, thank you for being with us on the show this evening.
Thank you very much.
That was